Right. Getting toward mid-May. What's the big thing this month? What's happening out there in the world?
Graduation.
Graduation is correct, which is quite distracting
Yes.
to a lot of people, correct?
Yes.
So pay attention. If you're doing deals with agents that have kids graduating, you need to be more on top of the situation. Sean always said the best agent in the deal does the deal. He's right. If you want to get paid, just get over it. You're going to have to run the whole deal. So if you got somebody that's involved in graduation on the other side, you might want to just up your game a little bit in helping them remember what's going on in the deal and getting their side done. Okay, market, how's it feel?
Wonderful.
Sure does. 21 contracts yesterday. That's massive. So seems like just everything's hitting on all cylinders in this town. Rates great. Stock market, other than yesterday, great. People coming here, population growing, jobs growing, millennials coming, movie industry huge. So freeways getting improved slowly. So yeah, it's very good out there. Take advantage of it. Let's do a little update on. I'll tell you what, we hadn't done it in a while. How about cheers for peers? MJ.
I have a double, I'm going to stand up. I want to thank Certainty Mortgage. I had a unique experience. One was, it was my listing, and one was I have the buyer. I had a listing and had 4 multiple offers, 3 standing in the wings, and then day 3, the 5th one came in. And it actually was not a KW agent. I'm going to go throw that in there, but the buyer was, unbeknownst to me, I get a letter, was working with Matt Litt. And again, now I have 5 multiple offers. This 5th one and one of the other 4 were neck to neck, and we were way over list, no closing costs. And it's like, what do I do? This one came in, it had gone through automated underwriting and automated appraisal. It was no appraisal and no finance contingency. And it was through Matt Litt. And so I cannot thank them enough because I actually didn't believe it. So I have to tell you, in 20 some years, I've only had one other house go through with automated appraisal. So they closed the deal. We were well over list. Not a glitch. Could have probably closed it in 2 weeks, but we needed time to move out. So again, I have no skin in the game on that one. They showed up and they had their ducks in a row. Matt called me and followed through. So I want to thank them on that one because that was huge. And my other one is more recently, and it was with Randy. And I have the buyer, and we were in multiple offers. And as he often does, he took the time to call the listing agent. We were pre-approved, made sure they knew we were like a cash offer, and we were able to secure that property because of Randy. So I just want to thank them for doing the follow-through they do and the calling they do for their clients. I think it's awesome.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everybody. Again, realize in this business, anyone can do the easy deal. Okay? You got mortgage people like Certainty here. You got Gannett here. They can do the hard deal when things get a little nasty. And they understand that sometimes that means go until midnight the day before closing. I have the same story. I think I told you I had to take over a deal in this office, $2 million deal. Our builder and buyer, no longer talking, hate each other, don't trust each other, to the point that the day of closing, the builder dropped on the closing table a which is silly. No one's ever going to sign it. Something, the title was saying, buyer will not sue builder after closing. That was the title of the letter. So, I mean, it was that ugly, but it was changing by the minute, and the loan was changing by the minute. And these guys, we were talking at 11 at night the night before, we were talking at 7 that morning. And that's what's required sometimes. So thank you all for what you do.
One of the, I think, neat thing about this office is there's so many people that have different strengths, and people will step forward and help others. I had a potential listing coming up over close to Bob's. I asked Bob to come over and meet me over there. Anytime, Kevin. Met him over there. We walked the property together, and we consulted, and it worked out very well. I got another future listing coming up in Johns Creek. It's a estate sale, but they want to at least have the home painted inside and change the carpet colors. Something I have a skill of 1 out of 10. So I called Beth Carscallon, who has her own staging company here in the office. She met me over there for 15 minutes. I bought her lunch and got my answers. So use your resources in this office.
She got lunch?
Kevin, I talk to you every day. I don't get lunch.
Bob.
So one thing I would do, I would give a shout out to really kind of a team here at Keller. So just recently went through my first sale, and also on actually just received a contract on another property. But the people here in the office have been extremely helpful. I want to thank Kevin for kind of a lot of coaching throughout the whole entire process, as well as Stacy and Diane. We take advantage of their knowledge and understanding of the system. So when you have somebody new and you are not familiar with the system, you're not familiar with the paperwork, using the resources we have here at the office it's a great strength that we have. And I also do what I call out Terry also for her assistance and coaching during the process. So thank you guys for that.
Thank you. Who else? Yes, sir.
Ernie.
Greg.
Linda.
I was just going to give a shout out to Cook's Radon since you're up on the screen there, because they installed my radon system in my house. These guys were awesome. I don't know if anybody's here from them, but
They are. They're going to come up in just a second.
But y'all did a great job for me, and I recommend you all the time, and drop my radon levels from 4.1 to 1.6 and in and out same day. Always have great follow through with my clients, so they're a first class operation.
There we go. And before you go, so I want to shout out to our culture committee and just everyone that worked on Red Day. Phenomenal group. Maybe that's what you were going to do, but y'all do an unbelievable job, and just everything you're doing for the office. So I thank you tons.
My shout out is actually to Randy Lip with Certainty Mortgage Home Loans, Certainty Home Loans. We are doing an investor deal with a new product that they have, the one that he told you about how many months ago, I don't know how many months ago.
We're talking about it today, too.
Yeah, oh, you are, okay. The system was not working, we found out finally, for electronic signatures. There was 100 and some odd pages. Randy printed them out, went to my client yesterday, to her spa, for her to physically sit down with him and sign it. That's above and beyond. They're amazing.
Thanks again, Randy. So let's bring Cook's Radon up here, and they provided a great breakfast. Thank you. I know you got stuck in a little traffic, but you made it.
Yes, finally. Getting through down 400 is always a challenge. Hey guys, I'm Monique, and I hope y'all like breakfast this morning. It's a little off the normal, Panera or Chick-fil-A, but every time I get an email from Rachel, they don't want pastry, so yeah. I went grocery shopping for you guys this morning. Yeah, it was fun actually, but Anyway, my name's Monique, and I am the customer relations person for Cooks Radon. If you call our office, I'm usually who answers the phone. We're a one-girl office, but we do have 9 employees. We have 3 certified mitigators and 2 certified testers, and I'm one of them. And I think, yeah, and the rest are, on the install team. So we do have 2 install teams. And and we've been established since '08, and we typically can do about 10 installs a week because of the crew. And we have a really good turnaround, usually within 24 hours, and sometimes, a lot of times actually, it's same day. If you call and you need a proposal, we have super access, so that's really helpful. If if the house has got a realtor lockbox, we can get in. And then we'll get back with you on the same day as far as the pricing typically, but the proposal, sometimes we can't get it out the same day. Sometimes that takes the next day. It just depends on how busy the office is, because I have a lot going on in there since I'm a girl office. I really need some extra help, but I can't talk Tony into staying in more than an hour. He's like, office work's not his thing, but Tony Cook's the owner, and that's my husband, and we are family-owned business. We have 2 of our sons that work for us, and you may have met Blake. He's the one that usually goes out on the proposals. And then the other son, Connor, he's on the install team, one of the install teams. We have a 4 crew, 3 to 4, it depends on the size of the job, and then a 2 to 3 man crew, depending on, we split them up depending on where we need them to go. How many of you guys have actually ordered to have a radon test done at one of your listings? Anybody?
Listing for your buyers.
Yeah, for your buyers, yeah. So, and did y'all happen to know that that there's no certification requirements in Georgia? Did y'all know that? Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah. And typically, is it a home inspector that does your radon testing? Most of the time, they're not certified either. So, has anyone heard of the ARST NRPP website where you can find all the certified testers and mitigators in Georgia? I'd like to write that on the board for you guys, just because if there is a board. Yeah, it's AARST. AAR, yep. ST, and then a hyphen, NRPP.com. If you go on here, it'll say find a certified pro. You click on your state, and it literally lists every single name, company name, and phone number, and what city they're in. And I highly recommend y'all using that, because when a home inspector, they are certified, I would hope, in home inspecting. But it's a separate certification for radon testing. And yesterday, we ended up on a job. There was a builder that wouldn't let us in, short story, because we weren't home inspectors, but to do a radon test and place a radon test in this home. Well, whoever they hired, we ended up in that property anyway, because I forgot to cancel it on the schedule. And the guy had his radon test machine taped to the framing inside the basement. That is absolutely not following protocol. And this is the kind of stuff that I see and hear about. And if y'all want to not have especially your listing, your sellers calling, thinking they got an invalid test, and then I have to go, well, were they certified? Well, when they say no, I then go, well, let me get a copy of the report. If they're certified, I usually don't say anything. But because if you've been certified, you've been through training. And I'd love for y'all to call us, but I would just want you calling a certified company, because it's that important. Because radon testing is critical to be following closed house condition protocols, and they don't know because they've had no training. All they know is how to turn the machine on and get a report. But if y'all want more information, I'll be glad to talk with y'all. If y'all want to call the office anytime, I left my cards back there. I'm just here to help you guys, help you through your real estate transactions.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Brad, what is that third letter? Is that an A or is that an R?
It's an R. Come on. Quite obvious.
That too is looks like an
I think you can use this. Did y'all just learn something? I mean, let's say you're calling a for sale by owner and they say, well, you know, we want to list by ourselves, and are you aware of the artsnrpp.com? Sounds pretty important, doesn't it? Also, this could be something on your listings when you get a high reading back. You know, might be like, is this? I'm looking on the side. I don't even think they're certified. Why don't we run another one? Possible. So realize that being a top agent requires having a top list of contractors and vendors, top to bottom. Right? We know how to get things done. We know how to get things fixed. It's very, very important to have a great group of vendors. Radon's probably one of the 3 queen mothers in the business, right? Of things that just scare people. So we really got to get this right. But that really could come into play. You know, you get a high reading and it's like those person, they're not even certified. Why don't we rerun that before we talk about this? It's possible. Okay, thank you. Let's look at a little video. We hadn't looked at one in a while. So it's a good little video. We got a 2-minute clip. You hit the lights back there, Randolph.
Do we need to set it up?
This is good.
Go ahead.
Well, I will say that. So this guy's dad only made it to 3rd grade.
I love it.
I really can't believe that so many people are still working in this old way, selling their time.
Here we go. Top 10, 2, number 2. Okay,
I hated that jump.
Sorry about that.
Cheery on.
Once you get ready, Diane.
Grade dropout. That 3rd grade dropout, the wisest person I ever met in my life, who taught me to combine knowledge and wisdom to make an impact, was my father. A simple cook. Wisest man I ever met in my life. Just a simple cook. Left school in the 3rd grade to help out on the family farm, but just because he left school doesn't mean his education stopped. Mark Twain once said, I've never allowed my schooling to get in the way of my education. My father taught himself how to read, taught himself how to write, decided in the midst of Jim Crowism, as America was breathing the last gasp of the Civil War, my father decided he was going to stand and be a man. Not a black man, not a brown man, not a white man, but a man. He literally challenged himself to be the best that he could all the days of his life. I have 4 degrees. My brother is a judge. We're not the smartest ones in our family. It's a 3rd grade dropout daddy. A 3rd grade dropout daddy who was quoting Michelangelo, saying to us, boys, I won't have a problem if you aim high and miss, but I'm going to have a real issue if you aim low and hit. A country mother quoting Henry Ford, saying if you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right. I learned that from a 3rd grade drop. Simple lessons. Lessons like these. Son, you'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. We never knew what time it was in my house because the clocks were always ahead. My mother said for nearly 30 years my father left the house at 3:45 in the morning. One day she asked him, why, Daddy? He said, maybe one of my boys will catch me in the act of excellence. I want to share a few things with you. Aristotle said you are what you repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence ought to be a habit, not an act. Don't ever forget that. I know you're tough, but always remember to be kind. Always. Don't ever forget that. Never embarrass Mama. If Mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Daddy ain't happy, don't nobody care, but you know. Next lesson. Lesson from a cook over there in the galley. Son, make sure your servant's towel is bigger than your ego. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Y'all might have a relative in mind you want to send that to. Let me say it again. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Pride is the burden of a foolish person. John Wooden coached basketball at UCLA for a living, but his calling was to impact people. And with all those national championships, guess what he was found doing in the middle of the week? Going into the cupboard, grabbing a broom, and sweeping his own gym floor. You want to make an impact? Find your room. Every day of your life, you find your room. You grow your influence that way. That way you're attracting people so that you can impact them. Final lesson. Son, if you're going to do a job, do it right. Always been told how average I can be. Always been criticized about being average. But I want to tell you something. I stand here before you, before all of these people, not listening to those words, but telling myself every single day to shoot for the stars, to be the best that I can be. Good enough isn't good enough if it can be better. And better isn't good enough if it can be best. Let me close with a very personal story that I think will be all
that's good.
focus.
All right, thank you. Good. I like that, I like it.
Yeah, that was great.
All right, Linda. So we do have excellence and we do have Red Day. So, Linda, all you,
Oh, can we come up front?
you can.
Come on, I'm coming. Who we got here? Everybody Red Day? Commentary. How about this? If you came and volunteered for Red Day, come up front. Please, and join us. No. Yes, get up here, Jay. Come on, guys. Come on. Not you, Bjorn. Get up here.
It was a good.
Everybody except
Yep, come on. Travis, who I always call Wes. I don't know why, but I always call him Wes. I know his name is Travis.
yeah.
This is it?
There were more, we had about 30 people.
As you can see,
Oh, there, yeah.
there you go.
So there's photos of Red Day.
You're in there somewhere, Jake.
Oh, we have a list of everybody up at the top. So, I stand in front of you. Special thank you to every single person who, A, came out and helped us with your sweat and muscle that day. B, to those of you that helped us financially and supported with your donations. We couldn't do it without you. Special thank you to every single person up here on the committee. We have a fabulous culture committee. If you would like to join our culture committee, please let us know, any of us up here. We would love your input. You know, everybody else, the more ideas, the more successful we can be. Our veteran and his mom, which are on the far right. We're absolutely thrilled with the work we did. Anybody else want to say anything else? Somebody want to tell them what we did?
Both of them were in tears. I was sitting outside speaking to his mother, and he had gone inside in a Prius, said, "Oh, where's Gregory?" And the mom said, "Oh, he probably went inside. He doesn't want to see him cry." So he was just moved as much as she was, and he kept trying to offer us money for it, for what we did. And of course, we didn't take the money, and he just couldn't, he couldn't believe we came in and did what we did just for them, without asking anything in return. It's very humbling, very humbling. So thank you guys, I appreciate it. And Hank, I just want to say thanks for getting poison ivy. You saved me. I already had it.
Bjorn, we traded off job. Bjorn said, I don't react to poison ivy, so you should have been over there to begin with.
Sorry.
We did outside landscaping. We put in a lot of beautiful flowers and bushes, did a lot of weed whacking and weed killing and bush trimming and tree trimming and
hauling and moving and
new cooktop.
Let me share this. Pete, who isn't here now.
Pete's right there?
Oh, there he is. Okay, I didn't see you there. Kudos to you. I learned so much about taking apart a cooktop in a range and hooking it up and doing all the electrical work associated with it. When she came in and saw that cooktop that works, the look on her face is that I can finally cook.
She had 2 burners that worked
Yeah.
previously.
And the overhead light hadn't worked since they moved in. and now it's working, so she can actually cook on a stove and see it. So, oh, nice one.
We had beer there.
Yeah, so, you know, again, please let us know if you want to join the culture committee. You don't have to go to every single meeting, but
Which is about once a month.
yeah,
After
yeah,
our team meeting.
yeah. So,
And we will be doing some more things throughout the year. That's kind of our goal as a committee this year, is to do more things throughout the year, not just Red Day. You know, we usually do something at Thanksgiving, we do something at Christmas. We're gonna plan on doing something at Back to School this year. So if you have any connections at one of the local schools here in Dunwoody, very close to our office, in elementary or middle, I guess I'm thinking, I don't really know, maybe we'll do backpacks or school supplies for teachers, not really the kids, or possibly the kids and the teachers, you know, whatever you guys think. If you've got any ideas, connections, please let us know and get us hooked up with those people.
I think one of the amazing things, I've always tried every year to be involved on it, and I think that's the least one can do with all the things that happen. I think by giving maybe an hour or two, a couple hours, even if it's just part-time for that day, it's amazing just the good feelings that come back to you. I think you get it tenfold, the old biblical thing about giving an hour or 10 hours in return of good happiness, appreciation. So it was, he came up and gave us hugs and stuff like that. You could tell he had come across hard times, as everybody, and we know everybody does at some time or another, but he was so appreciative.
yeah.
It was fun.
And very humble. So
Mm-hmm.
thankful.
I was working the fence that goes between his property and the next door neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
I'm back in the back, and I see him come out of his house. The neighbor comes out of the house, and I'm thinking, oh, good. I don't know what he's going to say. I'm trespassing.
You were chopping down some big trees over there.
So,
That was the poison ivy.
He said, you know, what are you guys doing? And I explained to him what he was doing. He said, that's amazing. So,
Yeah.
So thank you guys. I mean, all these people. It's just cool to see when people are there just to serve and they just keep doing stuff. Example, like this wasn't supposed to be done, but their screen porch was a little messy. We weren't supposed to do that. And Deb Martino, I mean, just little things like, I mean, they're smokers, obviously. So, you know, I guess for a smoker in Buckhead, it's, I mean, you're used to a nice, clean glass ashtray. I mean, their ashtray probably hadn't been, never, you know? I mean, it's just full of ashes. Just, I'm sure they came home and went,
They did.
wow.
She mentioned that. She was so excited. She wanted it. She said she couldn't wait till the next morning so she'd go out and have her coffee on her clean, screened-in porch.
Yeah.
And you guys cleaned. I think it was Deb and RJ and I forget who else it was.
Too.
Yeah.
They cleaned it, they washed all the outdoor
All the furniture, everything.
Yeah.
And she was so thrilled. She was just ecstatic.
It's neat to see. So thank you.
Yeah.
Great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. April top producers. So we report two ways. We report year to date and we report month and month only. So this is April top producers for the month only. Top teams, 2 and 2 only. Tara and Gary Gaines, number 1. Kathy and Tom Florence, 2. Deb and Michael Martino, 3. Eddie Levin and Sam Klein, 4. And Claudia Basato and Daniel Polito, number 5. Congratulations. Big business being done. May, it will be a marvel to see. I think I told you last month we wrote 95 million in contracts. And just in perspective, like 40 million is pretty darn good month. So this is crazy good. Top groups. I guess Ming is returning soon from his China trip, but he's still number 1 for the month. Ming Joe, 2, Becky Wynn Evans Group, 3, Providence Group, 4, Joanne Bolt Group, and 5, Alexander Group. Congratulations. Top commercial agents. He's in the room. Number 1, Scott Morchower. 2, Howard Garrett. 3, Joe Cannon. 4, Lita Jordan. And 5, that is Rookie, not Okay.
It wouldn't be a meeting if I didn't.
There we go. And top individuals, we go 15 deep. Dan Banks, number 1. Mike Culver, number 2. I'm already laughing at number 14. 3, Rob Carina. 4, Cynthia Pierce. 5, George Jackson the 4th. 6, Jennifer Hannon. 7, Becky Veal. 8, Oleg. 9, Alicia Hayes. He's Oleg to me. 10, Alicia Hayes is 10, Loran Cowan. 11, 10, Loran Cowan. 11, Jana Hupham. 12, Ziggy Goldstein. 13, Debbie Crawford. 14, Arden Feeman. And 15, we will have a proofreader from now on. 15, Hank Williams. Congratulations. Way to go, Hank. Okay, I want to welcome a few people. Bob, why don't you introduce Maria?
Sure. Maria Conley has just joined our office. Maria is, it's quite a career change for her. She just had her first child. James is 6 months old, and she used to be a helicopter pilot.
So anyone wanting to show by helicopter? Could be impressive. And I also want to introduce, I'm very excited about this, Allison Bible has joined us. Raise your hand, Allison. So she is a star amongst stars. So she's been in the business a while, but really she was the main person behind Haven Builders, if you've ever seen their homes down Dresden. Just like closing attorneys, we love you, Paul, but we know Debbie, and Debbie's the real person there. Well, Allison was the real person at Haven that got stuff done. So this is very exciting. I'm glad we're teaming up here. Stacy, Chad teaching today?
Yes. Did most people in this room get a text from me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be good. We know we all need it.
What's the topic?
So it's lead conversion, but he likes to call it closing, the art of closing. You know, you met somebody, what do they, want to get them to sign an appointment, sign an agreement with you. Chad it's all about closing. So he's going to deal with our minds and get us to close more clients, close more deals. Start at 11:30.
Right here.
Reschedule.
Excuse me, while you have that up there, Thursday is scratched.
Okay.
We cannot do that.
Okay.
Good to know.
Disregard.
Okay. All right. Well, now that Randy, why don't you come on up? So, Certainty Home Loans, Matt, what you got?
Good morning. Good morning. First of all, thank you very kindly for the kind words today. We appreciate that.
Always sitting down.
Yeah, all right.
Sit down on
So we can't do the wine and cheese this week because we have mandatory CE class all day.
Good.
So
Really excited about it.
yeah, we're pretty stoked, but we will reschedule it. So instead of doing that, I did want to talk this morning about our investor programs because it's important for all of you guys to know what is available and what isn't when you're talking with your clients. Oh, we can do that, or I know somebody that can do that, or yeah, I don't think that's out there. So let me tell you a little bit about the investor programs that we have. How many people have worked with investors? Okay? How many people wish they would work with investors? And, you know, a lot of times I hear, well, my investor's paying cash. Well, that's fine. Well, then you don't need financing. Okay? But for those investors that are not paying in cash, or for those wannabe investors, we have a plethora of programs available. A plethora, yes.
Smorgasbord, if you will.
That's more than one.
So the standard investor program, all right, is a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac program. You put somewhere between 15 and 25% down. Yes, you can put as little as 15% down. Yes, it is kind of ugly at 15% down. It's got a very high rate. Mortgage insurance is crazy. So if you put 25% down, you're going to get a rate probably somewhere just below 5%. You're going to qualify just like you would for a standard loan. Okay? Pretty simple. Probably every lender out there has that loan. Now, let's go a little step further. We can do, in addition to that, we can do the escrow holdback on that loan. In other words, if there's some cosmetic repairs that you would like to have done, you can include them in the financing. The investor doesn't have to come cash out of pocket. Let's say the kitchen needs to be remodeled. Let's say that it needs new flooring, needs new paint. The investor doesn't want to spend their money, spend ours. We can include that in the program. Did you know that?
No.
No. You probably didn't know that. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of that. We are able to do that. Let's take it a step further. Let's say it's got a bad roof. Let's say it's a physically distressed property that the seller just doesn't have the money to take care of. Perfect investor opportunity, yes?
Yes.
Maybe the investor isn't loaded with cash. We can finance those things in through a special program that we have that investors can utilize. We can finance a new roof in. We can finance new windows, new flooring, new countertops, new appliances. All of that can be financed in. Did you know that?
No.
No, didn't think you did. We have that. All right?
Is it like the Reno loan?
It's the rental loan. It's the renovation loan. We put on a renovation seminar not too long ago. I'm sorry?
Isn't it just for cosmetics?
No, the first part, the escrow holdback, is just for cosmetics.
Right, and that's up to a certain amount.
That's up to 15% of the purchase price.
Is
Correct.
there a limit to that though, like dollar-wise?
15% of the purchase price. That's for the cosmetics.
It's a Fannie Mae Freddie Mac loan, so it does have a loan limit of $484.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what you. Okay. Yeah, you meant loan limit. Okay.
Yeah, there is still
Right.
a loan limit.
Right. Still a loan limit.
485?
44,100, 44,150, somewhere right in there. So what I was talking about just now is going a step deeper. Now it's not limited to 15% of the purchase price. Now it's limited to 100% of the purchase price. You can do a total rehab of that property up to 100% of the purchase price. Now the loan amount still has to be under the 484.1, okay? But that's a tremendous program for investors. It keeps them away from hard money loans. It keeps them away from having to use cash. It allows them to do leverage. What do investors like to do? They like to leverage, okay? Perfect way for them to leverage. Let's dive in a little bit deeper.
Whoa.
I'm telling you, it just keeps going on and on.
Rolling now.
How about a bank? We can do the bank statement loan. We can do a bank statement loan for investors. They don't have to qualify conventionally. All right.
No pay stubs, no tax returns, just bank statements.
You like that? Now, does the rate go up a little? Yeah, the rate goes up a little bit. Now, let's dive in even deeper.
About to run out of oxygen.
I know. And I'm sure Brad's about to get the hook out, but this is my last one here, Bradley.
Okay.
All right.
We got to start.
And this is the one we're going with Linda, her clients right now. It's a no-income verification investor loan. What? Are you crazy? We don't look at their job. We don't look at their income. We don't look at their tax returns.
Foreclosure waiting to happen.
Thank you very much. What we look at, we do verify their money and where it came from. We have to verify that. And we do an appraisal on the property. Here's the key thing. We do an appraisal on the property with a rental analysis. And as long as the projected rents are $1 more than the mortgage payment, approved.
They do have to own their own home You have to have on time, they have to make their mortgage payment for at least 2 years.
Right.
On time.
There's a few other things, and again, we're going to have the wine and cheese. We're going to go into a lot more detail on those things. So I hope you guys can attend that. But even that last loan, the rate's 6.35 to 7.35. It's not that bad. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
So Randy, I've been looking at my credit card statement. It appears my wife has been making a lot of cosmetic renovations. Is that covered? Okay, so.
To you or the house?
Neither. Okay, so it's interesting. I wish we could all buy more things and sell more things more often, because we don't get to experience the feeling that our clients have being a buyer or a seller. And so you understand their mind. Like I told you earlier about the deal that we just accomplished, that was quite a difficult deal. And so, you know, going through the closing process is good. I think a lot of people remember the little chart we've done every week for the last couple, like here's the whole deal. Well, the last part is closing, getting ready for closing, and most people, I think, don't pay enough attention to that, or don't pay any attention to it. So, heck of a deal that Paul and I got through. I contacted Renee the night before, said, Renee, get ready. This is going to be really tough. We need separate rooms. Renee, of course, nicely responded that says, well, I'm at the beach. Thank you a lot, Renee. So, Paul and I were teamed up with the swords to get it done. So, what do we, and I think a lot of people miss this, there's a lot of things we need to start getting ready for closing. It's a big piece of the deal. So when would you say, Nancy, when would you say, Kevin, not here, when would you say, John Ellis, when do you start the closing process in your mind, Michelle, as far as, how far out from closing date do you start thinking about closing?
Right.
Have to do this.
Okay, so probably what's the first step? What are the things
You write the offer. Think about it.
okay, so what are the steps to closing here? I mean, there's a bunch of them we need to be aware of.
Be in touch with the lender and the attorney.
Okay, so why?
Because, well, if you're getting a loan, you need to know you have one.
Okay, so
there's no surprises.
So you're checking with the lender to make sure things are going smoothly, right?
That they have what they need.
Right. Check with the attorney. A lot of times we don't have the choice of choosing our attorney, and the other side has chosen Uncle Joe or Pee Wee lawyer, and that have two people in there. So a lot of times you'll be surprised if you call 2 weeks ahead of time that it's not even, they're not even aware of it, right? Okay, these are big things. What else?
Inspection.
Right, so that's a huge one. You don't know how many people come to my office crying, going, the closing's tomorrow, they haven't done anything. Tomorrow, we haven't done anything. Why didn't you know this 2 weeks ago? Right? Why weren't you talking to the person, how's it coming? Right? Can you start sending us receipts? Right? Starting to make them aware that maybe we want it clean too. Right? These are all things part of closing. What else?
Appraisal.
Okay, I'm assuming we are past appraisal, and now this is that list now. Going to closing.
Walkthroughs, getting ready for the walkthrough, making sure everything's done before closing.
Utilities.
Walk through, so we scheduled that. Another good one. Utilities, huge.
HOA letters.
Huge. I mean, this all is going to mess you up, right? There's a lot of stuff to do. Utilities. How do we do utilities?
Seller cutting them off.
You can ask the previous owner.
Right. What are you doing as an agent? What are you going to do?
How do you know what's going to be better? What's going to
Right, but I'm saying, do you call the other agent and say like what day you have them cut off so we have to cut them all on the same day? So
I tell them what day they're gonna.
Right, you tell them,
I
right.
remind them that they need to stay
Right.
on through the day of closing.
Right. And the ultimate for us, again, we're trying to make this smooth. We've done such a good job the whole way. We hate to have closing screw up or just something silly like, so all of us, I mean, it's the biggest, I think I'm going to take this on myself. I don't understand why water, can't be done like utilities. It's just a problem for the people. But, so what do you have to do with your water?
Depends on the
Sell or
county.
leave it on for 3 days after closing.
Right.
Depends on the county.
Right.
Yeah.
Because why?
Because the counties oftentimes won't give you service until you show them your closed settlement statement.
There we go. So we need to be aware of that, and on top of that, and our sellers prepared to, right after closing, do that, correct? Because there's nothing worse. You could be ultimate deal. You got them 50,000 under market, and their water gets cut off a day after. And little Amy, 6 months old, we don't have any water.
City of Atlanta will take 3 days to put the water back on if the water gets cut off.
Exactly.
And the thing.
Right. We got to do all these things. We got to be prepared. What else?
3 business days.
Right. If you're not good with that and keeping up with all those strengths, hire a good closing coordinator. They'll partner with you and lean on them if they know what all those steps are.
Exactly.
Moving company.
Got to have movers scheduled, correct? What else? This is a long list. Do y'all even have a list like this? You do? You do now. There we go. What else? Big one you missed. Big one. Big one.
Did you say order the home warranty or any other?
There we go.
How about the wire?
Woo, thank you very much.
Termite letters.
Right. Wire ranks way up there, right?
Yeah.
Right? Y'all won't take anything but wire, right?
Pretty much.
So no wire, no money, and everyone on the planet doesn't understand wires, right? They think I punch the button wire and it just shows up there and
Magic.
right. It can take a day, right? And this is the biggest place that you can ruin your career and your life if your client. There's huge fraud here, right? This could be, they can be duped. It can be sent to a bad account. It's gone. So we need to be big attention to this. Okay, what else?
And have the wire conversation 5 times during the process.
10 times. What else? We're missing some. Insurance. Absolutely. Pretty funny faces when we go mortgage and they go, where's your insurance?
Y'all, for your cash buyers, I won't let a cash buyer leave the table if they have not called and set up insurance. So remind them, because the lenders are going to be all over them when they're getting a loan to get their homeowner's insurance set up, but cash buyers, for whatever reason, they forget about it. Once they leave my closing table, they own the property. So if a tree falls on it, the house catches on fire, 5 minutes after they close and they don't have insurance, they're stuck. Which is why I usually make them go in a conference room and go call and set it up. But try to get that done ahead of time. And remind them to do that.
What else? There's a ton of them.
HOA.
We got that up here. What else? How are we going to get in the house?
Keys.
Keys.
Garage door.
Ah, there we go.
Codes.
Right.
Security system.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. What else?
Did you say termite letter or checking on repairs that are done?
Well, we said repairs, but yeah, termites good. What else?
Security system.
Well, maybe.
Okay. I mean, a big one is, does everyone know where they're going?
Direction.
I mean, I wouldn't just tell them. There's nothing that makes me, like you're there and they're 45 minutes late and they didn't know where they were going. Right, we're busy people, right? Give them directions. What else?
Closing gift?
Yeah, okay. They should be giving you a gift if you did it right. What else? Seriously. How about, have you explained title insurance?
Don't explain title insurance.
What?
Have them call. Don't. Just if they have a question, have them call our office. We can talk to them about it. Just remember, you should never tell somebody that they do not need title insurance, just like you should not tell them that they don't need an inspection or a survey or anything like that.
Well, no, I'm saying get title insurance, but we did have them call, they asked for you, and they said you were at the beach, so they couldn't talk to you. So, no, you should have this conversation that you need title insurance, and the attorney will tell you more, okay? You need owner's title. You gotta have people do that, okay?
What about all the warranties and the manuals that stay with the house?
Absolutely. This should be a list you have. Every closing, once you go under contract, you're starting to be aware of these things, right? It makes for a smooth closing, and that's what we want, right? Here's a big one. If this happens to you, to be the worst closing you ever had, you should know your client, okay? Let's say you have 2 attorneys. Your buyers are 2 attorneys. What can you guess?
Oh Lord, they're gonna wanna read the
They're going to read every single word of, how long is that mortgage? Renee, quit talking. How long is the mortgage, your mortgage thing?
What do you mean how long is a mortgage thing?
Not the package.
How long?
The whole mortgage you signed. What's it called?
The security deed.
Security deed. How long is that?
I mean, it's like 16 to 18 pages.
16 to 18 pages. I've had that happen. I literally had 2 attorneys closing in Decatur at 5 o'clock on Friday, and the attorney made it quite obvious he wanted to get Highlands to his house. And I told him weeks before, we had 2 attorneys, he needs to get them every document, can be blank, because they're going to want to read it. And he didn't do that. And I looked right at him and said, you read away. We were there till 9 o'clock that night. I'm just saying, if you know your people are like that, you get blank forms, right?
You can't fund it 9 o'clock at night.
Attorneys and engineers happen to be the big readers.
There we go. What else?
How about never schedule your closing on a Friday or after lunch?
For the last few days of May.
Well, sometimes. Yeah. I mean, that's a great tip, but sometimes it's unavoidable, but good tip. Okay, good conversation. There's a lot to do here. You got it? Okay. Yannick, what you got?
I mean, I feel like we covered everything just now. Okay, hey everyone.
Okay.
I'm Renee Dillon with Gannett PC. Oh, I still have something.
She's not at the beach.
I am not at the beach.
Pictures of the beach.
I was at continuing education.
Where
Continue to practice law.
Where at?
Amelia Island.
There we go.
On the beach.
I can't help it, that's what they know.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that sort of thing.
Just along the lines of this, scheduling notes for the next 2 months. If you look at your calendar, look at what the last business day of May and the last business day of June is this year. It's the last Friday of the month. So when it falls, especially at the end of June and May, those are crazy closing days. We've already got a lot of contracts coming in with those days on them and not a lot on the calendar. So if you are closing on those last days, first of all, call and get a scheduled time. You can always change it, but at least you have one. At least you have a slot scheduled. We will fit you in no matter what, but you may not get your preferred time on those days because it's going to be busy. Also, just set some expectations with your clients. You know, it's going to be a busy closing day. The lenders are going to be busy. The attorneys are going to be busy. It's like going to Disney World on like the 4th of July. I mean, it's going to be nuts. So just set expectations with your clients. If you can not close on one of those days, particularly if you have some high-strung clients or first-time buyers, it is better to try to push them to a different day of the week. We close Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So generally midweek is a better closing day for some of them. But just keep in mind, these end of the month closings this month and next month, it's going to be very busy. Very, very busy days everywhere.
Thank you. Very good tip.
Thank you. Thank you all. Keep those contracts coming in.
I just wanted to say I really appreciate it. I had at the last minute a buyer who said they needed to sign earlier than they scheduled closing, so everyone scrambled at your office, even though you were not there. We had a closing, didn't we, Paul?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you so much, because that really helped out everybody in the transaction. Seller didn't want to get down to, my house I sold, by the way, was way up in somewhere where I don't know where it was. And so, no, it was somewhere in Gwinnett. So I don't normally go there. Anyway, I went and I sold a great house, great people. But the whole thing was, I did all that. I went out there. So guess where we closed? Here, for me, because I set the closing, and everybody comes to Gannick. And if they can't come, then Gannick accommodates and goes somewhere to them. But basically, they usually all just come right down to Dunwoody, and I'm going, phew, okay.
And that's why we use Certainty, and that's why we use Gannick. Again, anyone can do the easy deal. These people accommodate us and know when things get sideways, they're there till all hours, and they're early to get it done. That's why we use them. So thank you.
Renee texted me at night, like, I'm going to come jury duty.
Cheers for Peers. I have a closing at the end of the month, and she's actually doing it at 9 a.m., which she usually doesn't get up till about.
I understand all
Wow.
But you look beautiful.
She won't go to the beach for years. All right, give me 5 more minutes. So we got some awards, don't we?
We do.
All right, let's.
We have some Ignite graduates.
Hey.
Woo! All right, Miss Selena Evans is in
the house.
Come get your seat. Yeah, in the house. Sharp woman. Yay, look at her. Thank you, Mr. Ryan Farward. Yeah.
Great job, Ryan.
Sorry, Karen Johnston. Thank you. Awesome. And Mrs. Black. Oh, okay. That is it for today.
Okay. So we got to get ready for
Another
chat.
night class starting June the 3rd.
Okay. Listings caravans. What do you got? What?
Becky Wynn.
Okay, there we go.
Becky Wynn has a caravan, 3435 Kingsborough Road, Northeast, Unit 1702. It is in Buckhead, Villa at Buckhead. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, 370.
Okay.
She has mimosas and cash grab bags to the first 10 agents.
Very good. At the Villa?
11:30 to 1:30.
Okay, and right on maybe announcing Hans. He's had it's a great house he did. They did a
I guess I
renovations on right there in the neighborhood, about a block away, 3556 Kingsborough Road. Hans has I think it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 650 listing, but it's a total renovated home, beautiful neighborhood. Amen.
Kingsborough today.
Right there.
Luann.
After you leave Buckhead, come to Berkeley Lake area.
Berkeley Lake.
But my listing is on the market there. It's a beautiful 4-bedroom brick traditionals, John Whelan. It's a completely renovated kitchen. I mean, absolutely beautifully. Knocked out the wall. They opened everything up. All the bathrooms are remodeled as well. 2 levels of hardwoods, all completely newly refinished. Fenced backyard, 425.
Nancy.
I am redoing a caravan for a home in Brookhaven. It's new construction, 3181 Madison. I'm giving away Starbucks and Publix cards. Please come take a look.
Good. That's nice.
Alice?
I've got a great investor opportunity in Buckhead, Garden Hills off of Alpine Road. Alpine Road cuts East Wesley and Piedmont. This house backs up to Piedmont, but it's got a nice buffer. It's currently a duplex. It's a great income producing opportunity and could also be a great tear down opportunity. 2769 Alpine. Just reduced it to 440. If you have anybody interested, let me know.
Good area.
I have a new listing on Tree Ridge Court in Rivergate for $755. Beautiful, beautiful condition, nice house, private setting on a cul-de-sac. And then I have a new listing coming up in Paces View, a townhome, 4 stories for $995. Those sell over $1 million. So we're pricing it to sell it really quick. It'll come on in about a week, but I can show it ahead of time. Has an elevator, it's like new, modern, killer gorgeous. I mean, seriously pretty. So that one is coming up if you have anybody for townhome, Paces View.
I'm just saying, we saw that little video about that, pretty good video. Little part where he was talking about getting up to 345 and what that meant.
Left the house at 3:45.
Just keep an eye on Pierce. I'm telling you, she's been doing this a long time. She is that person. You talking about a work ethic?
I was at Orange Theory at 6:45.
Okay.
I'm taking a nap now, we'll see ya.
She knows how to work. Hank.
I've got my listing in Breckenridge. We've had a price reduction. It's now $649. It's a 4-3 inside the perimeter. It's been renovated. It's got a great landscape front yard. It's between Briarcliff and La Vista. It's in the Lakeside High School District. If you have someone interested in that area, it's great for commuters. So let me know.
Okay, Susan.
So I have a house down in Decatur, fantastic. It's in Winona Park School District. We just dropped the price $25,000. I am looking for somebody who wants to do an open house either Saturday or Sunday coming up. Usually a lot of activity, 725. So if you want to do an open house Saturday or Sunday, let me know. Susan Eschbach. Thanks.
There you go. You'll get a lot of people. Great area.
Hey, Brad, do you notice the price points that everybody's talking about?
I've been in the business 30 years. Prices are, the contracts we're getting in are big numbers. Yeah, really big numbers, and that's good for everybody. Who else? All good? Chad in 15 minutes?
Correct.
Okay, stay here to hear Chad Holmes. He's one of the best. Y'all have a great week. Pay attention. It's graduation time. You got to pay attention in these deals.
Hey,